Throw in. Cracking contest here in Cheltenham. Not long to go now at all. They're going to have to try and create something magical here. Bentleigh. Stodzewski had a brilliant first half. Here she is taking the throw in. Couple of options ahead of her. She might have another crack at it. A lot of Heidelberg numbers there. Do they look to throw this one back towards goal perhaps to open things up? Goes towards the box. It might fly out, it does. So it'll be a goal kick here for the visitors. So not long at all left in this one. We saw an absolute thrilling goal from Karina Tolios to make it 1-0 in the 67th minute. And since then, Kerwood Wagner made it 1-1, and it was 2-1 after a CO goal. And those two goals came within 3 minutes. Here they are. Can they make it a third goal? Taranto defending for Bentleigh. This ball's going to go in towards the box. It's a beautiful ball. Sarah O'Donoghue tried to pull off a volley. Stodzewski, almost a penalty. There's a penalty. That is called. So on the second attempt there, defensively from Bentleigh, they cop a penalty. And to take this one will be the South Korean forward, Ji-Yoon Seo. She's already scored tonight. She scored the winner to make it 2-1. Well, this will be the actual winner. We might see the goalkeeper go up for this one, so this is interesting. So Mia Bailey here to go up against Montea Moshley. You wouldn't believe it. Goalkeeper v goalkeeper. In the 90th minute, she's going to have a crack at sealing this result here for Heidelberg. Mia Bailey, the goalkeeper of Heidelberg, to go up for this penalty. It is saved! Wow! Scenes! Montana Moshley pulls off a penalty save, and Mia Bailey is charging back towards goal. She needs to get there. She does. Unbelievable scenes. They threw her up there for the penalty, and she's had to charge back because she's missed it. And to make sure she gets back in time, she had to get back in time, or else it was an open goal and they could risk drawing this game. Anyway, here they are now. Wallacott wins it, and it's going to be a goal kick. We're in added time now. This may be a substitute. Yes, so on comes on the Courier, and off is... We will just wait and see, but off is the goal scorer, Kerwood Wagner, the one that made it 1-1. Absolute seeds here. Interesting call there. I don't know what Mia Bailey's like with the penalties, but they went with her for the penalty and it's been missed. The goalkeeper to take the penalty. You wouldn't believe it. They'll run down the clock here, Heidelberg, looking to secure the 3 points after being 1-0 down. Goes out. This will be a devastating result here for Bentleigh. It will be their 13th loss. They haven't won or drawn yet this season. A Ball's booted. Sato trying her best, does very well. Correas Bass works that one forward. It's turned over. Headed nicely from Tolios. Correa Bass now. Up against two Heidelberg players. O'Donoghue comes from behind, wins the ball. She looks like she'll just run down the clock here. Lunged in there and they're out here, Heidelberg. A shot from long range, missing to the left. So you'd imagine now not long left at all. They're going to have to move this one quick here, Bentleigh. Stochevsky works it out. Where does this one land? It lands in the feet of Sato. Heidelberg get it back though. Here's Seo on her right foot, works it out. It's going to go out. Quick throw in here, and they're going to have to get up there and their end of the pitch pretty quickly here, Bentleigh. Nicely done there from Tolios. Here's Susan now. It's turned over. That's a nice pass though. Which way does this one bounce? Correa Bass putting some pressure on from behind. They're going to continue running down. Here's Mia Bailey, just missed a penalty. A chance! Correa Bass! She gets it! But there's a foul called. You wouldn't believe it. So Bentleigh's put the ball in the back net to make it 2-2, but it's disallowed. There's a free kick that's gone the way of Bailey. She's had one sort of finish to this game. Missed a penalty, then almost conceded there.
I'm trying to work out what happened.
Crazy scenes here at Kingston Heath. The heart rate's gone up a notch here. And there's the full-time whistle. Heidelberg United have come from 1-0 down to win this one. They come away 2-1 victors. After goals from Samantha Kerwood-Wagner made it 1-1. And then a couple of minutes later, Ji and Seo made it 2-1. And they get a win. It's their fourth win in their past 5 games here, Heidelberg United, and they're undefeated in their last 5. So this result will lift them up the ladder. They started the night in 14th. Well, they'll go up a few spots. And for Bentleigh Greens, well, they are still winless and still without a draw yet this season. They are yet to pick up a point. They were well and truly on track to do that until conceding 2 goals there. Very disappointing result for them. But that'll do us, really. That's the end of it. Got to mention an absolute thrilling attempt from Karina Tolios in the 67th minute. The Bentleigh Greens youngster made it 1-0. But then, so unfortunate for Steve Kremidis' team. They conceded 2 goals, and that's the loss for them. Well, that'll do us here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. Hope you've enjoyed this Senol NPL Victoria Women's Round 13 clash. An absolute thriller. It was 0-0 at half-time, and it ends 2-1 the way of Heidelberg United.
Sorry. There we go. Mike's on 0. Check. It's probably a bit hot now. Check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Are you sure you're online? Check. 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2. Check 1 2. You have to bump it up to 7 or 8 out of 10. 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10. Happy? Neil. Oh, there you are.
Help us level the playing field. Sign the parliamentary petition today to fuel the growth and fund the game.
Go the other side, yeah? Where's coming? Oh no, we're going down the smoke.
Okay. Mic check, testing 1 2 1 2.
1 2 1 2, testing 1 2.
Welcome to Senol NPL Victoria, round 13. Two teams with contrasting recent fortunes and two head coaches who essentially swapped clubs over the course of their careers. Plenty intertwines Bentleigh Greens and Heidelberg United, but over the last few weeks they couldn't look any different in their recent results. Bentleigh Greens looking to bounce back from a 7-0 reverse at home against Melbourne City last week. George Katsakis will demand a response against his former club, Heidelberg United, who he coached for so many years. For the Bentleigh Greens, John Anastasiadis built a dynasty. Now he sits in the visitors' dugout in charge of Heidelberg, reigning NPL Victoria champions, and they are unchanged after claiming the Community Shield in last week's 4-0 win over South Melbourne. Yaron Souza between the sticks, Carlo Sullivan, Ben Collins, Ryan Lethlean and Fletcher Fulton make up the defence. A midfield of Marcus Humbert, Anthony Lesiotis and Asahi Yokikawa, and a front line of Jay McGowan, Nico Duarte and Max Bisetto. The Bentleigh Greens, 3 changes from that side that suffered that heavy loss. Luca Resti drops to the bench. No place for Lee Broxham or Dimitri Relos. Retaining their places, goalkeeper Brendan White, defenders Kordeng, Keji Kagiyama, Michael Bothy, Scott Hillier, Mario Boldea in midfield, and Anthony Lynn, and leading scorer Maki Petrados up top. In comes Jawad Rezai, Ismail Haji, and the returning Kalalu Kamara, a commanding presence at the back. And Bentleigh look like they might be going with a back 5 today in light of Heidelberg's firepower. Almost ready for kickoff here at Kingston Heath, where we've seen a very dramatic first half of a men's and women's double header. Heidelberg claiming the spoils with a late double, a missed penalty from the goalkeeper, would you believe, and then a disallowed goal with the last kick of the game. Josh Parrish here alongside Neil Simons this evening. And Neil, if this game promises any of the sort of drama we just saw in the NPLW fixture, we're set for a cracker.
Absolutely so. And it's a feeling of a return to normality. It feels as if the Bentleigh Greens and Heidelberg United should be facing off against each other on a year-by-year basis in league competition, and we have that pleasure tonight. Of course, the last time these two sides faced off was in 2024 in the Doherty Cup. Did not go the way of the home side tonight, but it's going to be a tantalising proposition, Josh. I can't wait for this one.
Yeah, on paper, it should be a walkover, but George Katsakis, I imagine, will have cracked the whip at training midweek. You can only imagine that these Bentleigh players have been given their hairdryer treatment once or twice. For Heidelberg, a slightly inconsistent campaign. They've still shown the quality that we saw last season. They sit second in the competition, and they're looking to make early inroads here as Kamara is tested by that through ball. You mentioned that Doherty Cup clash. John Anastasiadis' first match against Bentleigh since he departed the club to take up that Western United role in 2019. And that was a resounding 6-0 win. George Katsakis had only had a couple of months at the helm of Bentleigh Greens. It was definitely a rebuilding year for them in VPL 1. Promoted the following season with a resolute defensive record. And they started the season in the top flight on their return, much the same Bentleigh. Only 3 goals conceded in their first 7 games of the season. Now it's come to a juddering halt. They've conceded 19 in their last 5.
It's out of the norm of prediction and, I guess, normality for Bentleigh. They've been a very good, resolute side defensively. Over the last 2 seasons, they've had just a near impeccable home record as well. It's been a jolt to the system for George Katsakis' side, and you really do wonder, with so many injuries, which I'm sure we'll get into, as to how they can recompose themselves ahead of what is going to be a very difficult next stretch of the campaign. Of course, a very, so to say, comfortable win in the Doherty Cup midweek against an undermanned Northcote City. It was essentially the under-23s. But Heidelberg, they were pretty pushed against Altona East, although they did run out pretty comfortable winners in the end. It was very, very difficult for them to really gain a stranglehold over that tie.
Both clubs pushing for another round of 32 appearance in the national stages. We've seen many a famous Australia Cup night here at Bentleigh. Heidelberg, of course, going all the way to the decider last season, and now the potential ACL 2 campaign on the cards if they can find an appropriate venue. Kagiyama forwards. Boldea. Heidelberg think the ball went out. Yaron Souza was appealing furiously to the assistant referee on the far side, but it remains in Bentleigh's possession with a Scott Hillier throw-in. And they haven't gone 5 at the back. Kagiyama has been pushed up into midfield after deputising in central defence last week. No Kamara was a big blow against Melbourne City with their talented attackers, but they didn't bank on Medin Mehmeti turning up in A-League form and scoring 4 goals on the night. Some NPL recruit when you can get a guy who just scored in an A-League playoff game the week before and slot him straight into your NPL team. Bentleigh didn't know what had hit them in that first half. It was 6-0 at the break. Credit to them, I suppose, for responding in the second half, but that simply won't do for George Katsakis and this proud club.
Not at all. As we see Kamara look to switch it out wide. Of course, Jawad Rezai with another start for the Greens after his double midweek. The second goal was ever so spectacular, clipping it over Noah Kalamata. Sure, Yaron Souza won't like to be a victim of that tonight, as we see Ben Collins now take possession. Out to Ryan Lethlean. Time to roam. Infield to Lesiotis. Now Bisetto. Further wide is Fulton, the Tasmanian, as he wins the first corner of the evening.
Yokokawa jogging across to take it. Lethlean and Collins will attack the penalty area.
What can Asahi Yokokawa deliver from this position? You're not facing under-23 players this week if you're a Heidelberg player. Completely different ball game. Action towards Humbert, and that's going to sail out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, it was almost a friendly match feel to that one at Olympic Village. Heidelberg running out comfortable winners, as you might expect, given South Melbourne's OFC commitments.
Yeah, and they were pretty happy with that Community Shield victory. I suppose winning a game against South Melbourne, regardless of what iteration of that side is.
Still the same badge.
Still the same badge. And of course, you saw the images in the change rooms from Stephanie Sabevsky. And I'm sure they'll give them an extra added level of comfortability, knowing that they've secured at least some silverware so far in the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. See now Yaron Souza towards Ben Collins now.
This one of 3 fixtures on a Friday night in NPL Victoria. Green Gully currently all square with Melbourne City at 1-1. Andy Vargas' side will be delighted with that so far. Scoreless over at Frank Holohan Soccer Complex between Dandenong City and Oakley Cannons. Dandy City missing a penalty after 14 minutes, so we could be seeing a couple of upsets on the cards tonight, judging by progress so far. Left lean with a stab at it. Rezai putting Collins under the pump. Kagiyama. Switch of play towards Rezai. O'Sullivan judged it well in the end. Calmly back from Humbert to Souza. Hillier. Humberts. And headed back from whence it came by Michael Boffey. And Bentleigh continue to apply a pretty rigorous press in the middle third of the pitch. They'll be happy with their shape so far. Collins sees his long ball charge down. Now Maki Petratos is stopped in his tracks at a magic touch from Anthony Lesiotis. Delicately evading Kagiyama. He slides it through for McGowan. Heidelberg flying forward on the counter-attack. It's high and long from Jay McGowan. Basetto will retrieve on the other side. He gets into a wrestling match with Kordeng. Down he goes. Heidelberg free kick, and it's a contentious call. The reactions of the Bentleigh players.
Yeah, I just think as if Kordeng exerted too much force there upon the receiving end initially from, I believe it was Marcus Humbert. But that was certainly needless from the former Westgate Sindalich player. Of course, going up 3 divisions to Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. It's quite the step, and he's not looked out of place so far. Down the Bentleigh right.
It's going to be Humbert to swing it in for Heidelberg. 6 to aim for in the Bentleigh penalty area. Yanni Zizis just making sure there's no pushing and shoving in there. To the near post. Can't find a yellow shirt. Back in by Fulton. And misses everybody with the diagonal. Trying to avoid the counter-attack as much as pick out a teammate. But there's a bit of concern for Ryan Lethlean, who's down inside the Bentleigh penalty area.
Yeah, this is a possible cause for concern, but he seems to be all okay. Interesting, you talk about the crossover between these two sides. Of course, it's the Senol NPLM Men's Victoria. There's always going to be crossover, but not many will remember the Maki Petratos stint at Heidelberg United in 2022, where he played half a season under George Katsakis. He's, of course, a New South Wales boy traditionally, but I'm sure he'll feel as if there's a bit of added intent for himself tonight as well.
Of course, it was Heidelberg all over the Bentleigh promotion last season with Adrian Zara and Sean Ellis. Part of that championship winning side. Both have since departed to VPL 1 and 2 clubs. Left lean. Kamara in the way. Falls to Basetto. Laid off by Duarte. Okikawa trying to find a gap. Fires it in towards Duarte's feet and doesn't stick. The Irishman O'Sullivan runs back to retrieve. Heidelberg beginning to establish more territorial dominance now. This is more of what we expected coming into tonight's fixture based on form. Lesiotis, delicate dink over the top. Duarte could be in. Kamara came racing back. Heavy collision between the two. And Kalalu Kamara got there first, despite Duarte's protestations. It will be a Bentleigh free kick. That recovery pace from the defender was something to behold. That's his trademark.
Oh, yeah. He's a luxury to have, Kalalu Kamara. Of course, we spoke at length about sort of the players that Bentleigh have brought in. Plenty of injuries, of course, but he's someone that you always want to have leading your defence alongside Scott Hillier. Two of Avondale's finest defenders in recent years gone by. He pulled out of the warm-up last week against Melbourne City, and that might have played into the psychology slightly of how the back four would have set up. I'm not saying his absence was the sole reason as to why they conceded 7 and 6 in the first half, but
he's certainly a big difference maker.
he's
arguably their marquee off-season signing.
Oh, yeah.
Well, speaking of Heidelberg connections, they're really missing Mo Aidara.
Oh, yeah.
Screening midfielder who would be first name on the team sheet if he were fit.
Yeah.
Anthony Frangi as well.
Yeah,
To be their starting striker.
Yeah, I think it's an MCL injury for Mohamed Aidara. I did see him walking pre-game on Tuesday, so I think he's all okay.
Haji. Outpaced by Lesiotis. Wins it back, though, and struck first time by Maki Petrados. Well, he should shoot whenever he's in range. He is Bentleigh's almost solitary attacking threat this season. 7 goals in 12 starts. And there's only a sprinkling of 1s and 2s throughout the rest of the squad. Maki Petrados has been the alpha and omega, if you'll pardon the pun, in a Greek derby.
That's fantastic.
Boldea. Rezai. Joel Rezai. Delicate weight on the pass. Bisetto felt he was tripped. George Katsakis cutting a furious figure in the Bentleigh technical area. I have to be careful with which team I refer to when I talk about the coaches. They're so well ingrained with the other club.
Yeah, it really goes without saying, really, as to what both John Anastasiadis and George Katsakis achieved at their respective clubs. And it's a peculiar feeling just as to how Bentleigh managed the remaining 30 minutes. They've really been subdued from a possession perspective. But they've had plenty to work with down the left and right channels, as we see Aaron Souza with time on the ball. Fizz one out wide. Tasmanian Fulton, the intended target. That's quite the battle down that right flank. Cord Deng and Fletcher Fulton. A few hip and shoulders already. Lesiotis, infield for Ben Collins. McGowan. High looping ball. White is going to claim. Another ex-Burger. Here's Brendan White, and dare I say a George Katsakis lifer. Goes long. The greatest clearance from Fulton. That is a tangle of legs there. Katsakis has seen something that I don't think I saw and has gone up in arms.
There's plenty of force behind that challenge from Anthony Lynn. We heard it from here.
Yes. And now Ryan Lethling pick up the scraps.
Perhaps there was a reaction on the ground that we couldn't see from our vantage point.
Another long ball. This time towards Bisetto. Isolated with Cord-Deng. With a drive towards the byline. As Deng looks to hold. Has regained the football. And has put it right into the feet of Anthony Lesiotis. Humbert. Now to Fulton. It's Bisetto once again. Checks. And Cord-Deng is having a very good start to his night on that right-hand side.
He's just gone down with a knock, Cord-Deng.
Oh, that's the commentator's curse personified, Josh. Hope he's okay, though.
Bit of a baptism of fire on debut in NPL Victoria last week. Player who spent time at George Cross and Melbourne City as well. It's that recent stint with Westgate that you pointed out.
Very proud club out of Melbourne's West. And that's what George Katsakis has done partially in his recruitment. He's bringing players from the VPL 1 competition. Of course, Denis Menelau, among others, Brando Conte, who's on the bench tonight. And they've all not looked entirely out of place in the top flight. And you can unearth a few gems here and there, such as Yuki Uchida. It goes without saying, really.
Certainly can. There's talent in the lower tiers. Several players who've stayed with the club after promotion. Scott Hillier was there when they got relegated.
Yeah.
It's led them all the way back up. That's loyalty from the captain. McGowan darts in field. Return from Yokikawa was accurate. The move breaks down. Collins steps in. Flag up. No. Pacetto onside. And looks like the ball crossed the line for a throw-in.
Burgess fans on that far side aren't too pleased.
Neither is John Anastasiadis in the technical area. Great pressure from Fulton. O'Sullivan. That's a gap for Humbert. Laid on to McGowan. To the byline to cross. Bit of an unsure clearance from Boffey. Yokikawa misses the mark. Wins it back off his countryman Kageyama. And Heidelberg craft out a shooting opportunity. It's been a long spell of pressure and possession with not much to show for it. Otis. Collins circulates wide to Humbert. Doesn't have much in terms of support. He's going to have to switch the point of attack. Out to Lesiotis. Left lean. Joining in. Fulton. And there's, I don't think, a better shielder of the ball over the goal line in NPL Victoria than Kalalu Kamara. He's a brick wall in those situations.
Oh, yeah. Really good resolute defensive work from the Bentleigh Greens. They've set up so well in these opening 20 minutes, forcing Heidelberg to switch from left to right and play a lot of balls over the top, which is nothing that we've really seen under Johnny A's side. It's not the distinct direct route to goal. Scott Hillier's weighted ball is right into the feet of Yaron Souza. Left lane. So a lot of the runners from Heidelberg left lane looking for the likes of Humbert and Nico Duarte as the diagonal ball is headed clear by Scott Hillier. O'Sullivan dropping into midfield as they continue to recycle to Heidelberg United. McGowan. Lesiotis. McGowan shot. Pass was deflected. Lesiotis interfered, couldn't quite bring it down. Collins. Here is Fulton. And his Isis says no foul. And the Greens will counter this time. Rezai through the middle. Oh, really good last-ditch header from Ben Collins. It was an eerily similar situation. Rezai was under on Tuesday. But Ben Collins was there with a timely interception.
Just noticing, Neil, how often Heidelberg have 4 or 5 players so high. Doesn't really give them much of a choice but to play more direct. There's a lot of circulating of the possession at the back. Obviously, Bentleigh are playing quite compact lines, but look how high Humbert is. Yokikawa. The wingers are playing very narrow.
Yeah, it's an intriguing proposition, Josh. I don't feel as if Heidelberg really have an out-and-out 9. You see McGowan now, twisting and twirling down that right edge of the penalty area. And now Rezai, Afghanistan international. Here's Lin. Was misdirected, but does find a player. That player is Maki Petratos. Crosses past halfway now. Deng. To Petratos. The reverse pass unable to be executed as the Burgers have a rare time to refocus, and I thought they might counter, but they will continue to recycle possession. As I was saying before, Josh, Bull Juach, to replace those goals, it's so difficult to do so, and I think that's why they're in a position where they've had to be a bit more narrow and compact.
I've been impressed by Nico Duarte. Hasn't taken the league by storm by any means, but he's got running power, he's got energy, he's got a lot of oomph behind his shot. Maybe not the same threat in behind as Bull Juach was for Heidelberg last season.
Speaking of Juach, of course, the Canadian Premier League commenced just over a month ago. He's had a decent start to life. 1 goal in his 5 appearances for his new club, Pacific FC.
Most Heidelberg fans would be hoping that he's stranded on the bench and wants to come home ASAP.
Well, he has
well
been
done
on the
to Bull
bench.
Juach, a very talented alumnus of this competition. That's a great ball through by Humbert. McGowan spots a runner at the back post, and Brendan White couldn't get there. It's hooked off the line by Michael Boffey. Looked like it was Besetto with the header across. Did everything right. Heads it back from whence it came. Down across the goalkeeper. White was scrambling, and his defender bails him out. Heidelberg's best chance so far.
And it's quite unorthodox. It's not a distinct way that they would like to play, I don't believe. Not the way they would like to generate chances. The chances are chances, Josh, but Michael Boffey quick to the spot and picked it beautifully. As Collins is under slight pressure here. Kamara heads right into the back of Masai Yokokawa, and might we see a trademark run from Kalalu Kamara. He loves a defender run into midfield. As Deng's ball out wide is overhit. Good crowd tonight, Josh.
Yeah, very healthy attendance at Kingston Heath. Always hard with the later kickoffs in winter, trying to get the double header in, but that hasn't deterred the fans.
Yes.
Would have been an adventure getting a car park if you arrived close to kickoff.
Kamara in that instance actually accidentally, or perhaps with intent, stepped on the foot of Nico Duarte's trailing leg.
I think he's very happy to bring play to a halt there. Definitely extremely keen to avoid these counter-attacks. Sullivan spin, Lesiotis. Collins, half a shout for handball off O'Sullivan. They're down. Now Yokokawa picks out McGowan. McGowan sliding in, showing studs. Bentleigh demanding further sanction. Just took a heavy touch, Jay McGowan, and in chasing his mistake, has gone through Mario Baldea, I think.
Yeah, definitely stubs up there, Josh. McGowan just exerting too much force to recover your mistake on that occasion is something that might come with a price, and it has done. It has avoided a booking, should I say.
I think if that challenge happens midway through the second half, it's an unwritten law in football. If it happens in the second half, that's a yellow card. In the first half, you might get away with it. Don't think IFAB has actually put that in writing, but
might have to. See Brendan White look to recover following opportunistic trailing leg of Jay McGowan, as Anthony Lynn is called for, I think, offside here. Was it a foul? I couldn't see.
I think a foul.
Yeah, interesting.
Just a bit of shirt tug back and forth with his marker.
Was Anthony Lynn. Intriguing start to life in Victoria. Did score that stoppage time equaliser against Preston a few weeks back. Arriving from Leamington in the National League North. The 6th tier seems to be the level to which foreigners arrive from. And he's no stranger. Did play 20-odd games prior to signing for Bentleigh, which is not often you see. Usually they have those 3 months off before January and then they come in for pre-season. But theoretically speaking, he's fully fit as they can really be.
Well, there are some players who go backwards and forwards and play for their non-league sides back home. Josh Dennett from Eltham Redbacks, the famous long throw, being one of those at North Ferriby. Don't get much of an off-season.
They must love the game. We all do in this channel.
I think it's as much a sense of obligation to your hometown, to your club of choice.
Yes.
You can go and have your Australian adventure, but give us some minutes in January.
Rare miscue from Collins. Scott Hillier taking no chances in bringing this ball back, taking as much time as he can. The Kiwi. Goes down the line. Collins there again. Left lane back to Yaron Souza. Heidelberg controlling the tempo thus far. That's what they've been known to do across John Anastasiadis' tenure. Left lane. Now Collins. Asiotis. Lucas fans just expressing a little bit of frustration. There's Duarte now on this left-hand channel. And again, Kalalu Kamara. How diligent in holding the ball back to goal. The shielding master.
He's been phenomenal so far.
They continue to set up so well. Yeah.
Yeah, they're looking pretty resolute in the first half hour here. I feel if Heidelberg get one, the dam might break, but at the moment, belief is intact at the Bentleigh Greens. George Katsakis needed a response, and he's got one so far. Heidelberg still the better of the two sides, as you might expect, but only really one chance of note, falling to Max Pacetto with that back post header and Boffey's desperate clearance off the line. Rezai forced to go backwards. Boffey forced to knock it long. Collins up to meet the free header. Lynn stretching to get a foot to the ball. Petranos does the same. Deng. Pumped up field. Lynn was always second favourite. Boldea. Collins. Just caught Lynn with his studs there. No major complaints from the Englishman. Superb pass from Collins. Makes it look easy. McGowan needed some backspin on that. Didn't come off his foot the way he had envisioned. Heidelberg still looking for answers to break down this Bentleigh backline. A game that's simmered but hasn't really sprung to life just yet, and I think that's just the way that Bentleigh will like it.
More often than not, George Katsakis is very good at reading the game. And he would know exactly how Heidelberg are set up. As Kamara able to loft that forwards. Fulton eventually got a lofted ball to that. It's almost just foot tennis at the moment.
think
Volleys galore.
Anthony Lynn must have thought he was back in the National League North for a second. Heidelberg get it back on the deck. Bentleigh not especially bothered about trying to press their central defenders. They'll just stay in their shape, stay in their block. Midfielders shielding the back four. Heidelberg trying to find a pocket where they can combine, make their trademark triangles. Get some forward momentum going. RG closing down Lesiotis. That seems to be his assignment tonight. Left lean coming forward to provide an extra number. Fortuitous ricochet, but he can't make the most of it, and Kordeng was fouled.
Surprised as to how high Ryan Lethlean got in that instance. We know that he was a striker up until joining the Melbourne Victory youth ranks, where he was converted into a centre half. But should Bentleigh have got a distinct breakaway there, could have been a bit nervy at the back with one central defender going walkabout. Collins now looks to head forwards. Humbert. And now Boffey into the trusty hands, or should I say, I thought it'd be hands, trusty feet of Brendan White.
Neil, I was digging up the record between John Anastasiadis and George Katsakis over the years in their time at Bentleigh and Heidelberg and vice versa. Just the one other meeting since they've swapped clubs, so to speak. Lethlean holding off the challenge of Lynn. So since Johnny A became Bentleigh Green's coach in mid-2011, I think it was, he's got 8 wins against George Katsakis, 6 draws and 7 defeats. So it's right on a knife edge. Katsakis could square the ledger tonight. These two have had many great battles down the years. Most famously, I believe it was the 2017 Grand Final where Heidelberg emerged victorious.
Just two of the greats coaching on opposing dugouts. It's what this game is really made for. And as Senol NPLM men's Victoria, as Bentleigh will use this set piece opportunity as an opportunistic one as they roll it out right to Maki Petratos. Swings it in. Humbert. Oh, a bit of a near miscue from the Burgers. As the Romanian import, Oldea, will try his luck yet again. Hillier leaves for Rezai. Double team from McGowan and O'Sullivan. Rezai has done well. Shape one in and win his side. The corner.
It's fantastic work from Rezai. He looked like he was on a hiding to nothing there. Take a corner in that situation every day of the week.
Not often you see several MPL New South Wales players across the park, but Jawad Rezai was with the Marconi Stallions last year and has returned to Victoria under George Katsakis. So he's received him on the right edge of the area, takes the strike and he's taken a heavy deflection and out for, I think, another corner. But more pertinently, I think Ryan Lethlean, who's already had a knock to the head tonight.
I think it's Fulton who copped it in there.
Yeah, I thought he was going to Lethlean, but yeah, I think it was Fulton actually. Yeah.
He wasn't complaining. Garnies is just exercising his duty of care as a match official whenever there's a head injury, but Fulton not making a meal of that. He was struck pretty firmly from Rezai.
Yeah.
Tough cookie, Fletcher Fulton, the Tasmanian.
Of course, the Michael Cockrell medalist in 2025 in the Australia Cup. Rezai once more. Oh, it's fashioned in with much intent. I think Souza was the individual fouled. And so proceedings will be taken from 18-yard box.
Well, that's the blueprint for Bentleigh. Keep your shape. Deny, deny, delay, delay, and then if you can get forward and throw some numbers at a set piece. It was a dangerous delivery. Collins. Is there a free kick in there? There was. Fulton shoved to the deck off the ball and well within the view of the referee. George Katsakis with his arms akimbo. Wondering how on earth that was a free kick, but we've seen that reaction from him about 1 million times per season, so it's not really anything to go by.
No, not at all. Of course, Yanni Zizis would know these two coaches all too well.
Should be water off a duck's back for Yanni Zizis at this point. Just the passion and intensity that Katsakis brings as he prowls the technical area. His teams seem to channel his attitude. Fulton. It's going to be a throw for Heidelberg on the left. Just in front of the pocket of Berger's away supporters on the hill. Duarte. Snapshot from range. Does like to get his shots in, Nico Duarte. If he's not getting a sniff in front of goal, he'll go deep to receive and have a crack from outside the box. Hasn't been especially fruitful so far this season, but it keeps the opposition goalkeeper on his toes, that's for sure.
He's someone that I can really see blossoming into a key player for this Heidelberg side, of course, on loan from the Central Coast Mariners. And dare I say, has striking acumen in his blood. He, of course, is the nephew of Alex Brosk. So one to definitely keep an eye on as we progress into the latter half of this campaign.
Duarte looking for a free kick that time against the Bentleigh defender. Not given. Collins. Lesiotis with an important touch. Cordang sends it back upfield. It's almost too hot to handle for Haji. He beats Lethlean to the ball though, and Lynn feeds it through. And the Bentleigh break is on here. Ismail Haji. Back for Maki Petratos. Maki Petratos puts Bentleigh in front. They only needed one chance, and they've grabbed it with both hands. He cannot stop scoring on his return to NPL Victoria. 8 this season, and a priceless goal for the Bentleigh Greens. Well, what an upset on the cards tonight. Heidelberg heavy favourites. Bentleigh reeling from a 7-0 reverse the week before. They've played with passion, conviction and discipline. And when the moment came, Maki Petratos was the right man in the right place with the right finish into the bottom corner.
It's almost a trademark of his game to cut onto his left or onto his right. He read that impeccably well. And to get one against your former side will be even the more sweeter on the stroke of half-time. What a way to open your account on a classic 8:30 kickoff at Kingston Heath. Just immaculate. And really good work from Ismail Haji as well. Has very much been in and out of the team so far this season. He's got his opportunity tonight and has taken it with both hands. And dare I say, on the balance of play, Josh, it's thoroughly deserved. I mean, the defensive performance, the attacking output, it's reflective in the 1-0 lead to the greens.
Well, they just needed to be clinical tonight. Seize on an error, seize on a loose ball, and they have done. Lynn's ball in, O'Sullivan knocks it away. Nakakawa. Dang back for Boffey. There's a Bentleigh player down behind play. And Yanni Zizis will call it to a halt. Well, it was the perfect player for that situation, Maki Petrados. Sending his marker for a hot dog. He loves that little chop inside. Everybody still seems to fall for it. Slams it in the bottom corner.
He really just had Souza to beat after he bypassed the first defender. It's the makings of a really complete footballer. And that's what he's been across the last few seasons, even in NPL New South Wales for some good clubs, but not great records. Of course, 9 goals for Sutherland Sharks last year, pre-rebuild, so to speak.
Well, he's exploded this season, especially in a team that doesn't generate that many attacking opportunities. A defence-first side like Bentleigh, to have 8 goals in 13 games is unbelievable.
And to be honest, Josh, he doesn't score tap-ins,
no,
which makes him an even more attractive player to watch.
He basically has to go out there and get his own honey smacks every time. And he's just been a joy to watch this season.
Pretty decent footballing family, I should say, as well.
Yeah, runs in the blood.
Yep.
Speaking about Alex Brosk's nephew before, well, what about Timmy Petrados' brother?
Can't forget about Costa, Josh.
Of course, the trio.
I think he was at Heidelberg in that second
Yeah,
half.
they were here together.
Yeah, that's right. Package deal.
I think there might be a sister who plays from memory as well.
Oh, wow. It's like the Yunus family.
It's unbelievable.
The Allegiches.
Eventually, when Dimmies stop slamming in screamers in India, we've got to get them all 3 of them at the same club. And the 3-headed Petrados dragon banging in goals. Meanwhile, it's a Heidelberg chance off the set piece. Ben Collins heads it across the box. Duarte's in there, so is Basetto. And it wasn't far wide. He caught it sweetly. Max Basetto claiming there was a deflection on the way through. A goal kick is the verdict. As we look towards the 4th official for how much stoppage time will be added to end this first half. Heidelberg will be extremely frustrated. They looked comfortable, if not overwhelmingly threatening. Haven't generated enough going forward as 3 minutes go up on that board. And they've been caught napping at the back. It's almost Bentleigh's solitary attack at the half. They've had 1 corner, 1 shot, and 1 goal.
Yeah, they've been precise in their attacking movements. I think almost setting off and letting Heidelberg take the game to them. Although with not much intensity, as you would expect, of course. Don't want to use up all your energy in the first 45. I think they have a long-term perspective on the way that this second 45 might transpire as well, as we see Lethlean and Collins interchanging, which they've done, I'd say, at least 40 or 50 times in this first half. McGowan looking infield. Lesiotis at the base of that Heidelberg midfield. Switches out wide, but that is a really, really great intercept from Scott Hillier as he sets a task for Jawad Rezai, who's isolated with Jay McGowan as the cavalry arrives for the Greens. Equally great work from, Jay McGowan on the defensive work as the nutmeg from Marcus Humbert. He's lost possession though, and it'll be right into the feet of Ismail Haji. Somalian international, as Heidelberg will have a breakaway here to close the half. Buseto's overhit that pass, or that touch rather, and Kordang will loft it right into the grandstand on the far side.
Neil, perhaps we're seeing a return to Bentleigh's home form after successive home defeats. They started the season so well here, almost unbeatable at Kingston Heath. 3 wins and a draw from their first 4. 4 back-to-back losses completely shattered that impenetrable record on home turf, but they play this surface well. Probably not as even and lush as Olympic Village, what Heidelberg are used to.
And I would think that's by design.
Yeah, it suits the more rough and tumble approach of Bentleigh against these star-studded sides who've been in the division much longer than these newly promoted Greens. Stalwart in years past at the top flight of courts. Hilliers ball in, not dealt with by Humbert, but Collins is in command. Man with the armband for Heidelberg. McGowan was never getting there in time. Whistle in the mouth for Yanni Zizis. And the first half is in the books at Kingston Heath in this Greek derby. Bentleigh Greens have a shock lead against the reigning champions. Maki Petratos, who else with the goal? Superbly taken. Bentleigh's almost solitary four-way forward at the half. They were clinical, they were efficient, and they were defensively resolute. And Heidelberg cannot find a way through here. A big reaction needed from John Anastasiadis and his men at half-time, Neil.
Yeah, I think it's been just executed in the most perfect way if you're of Bentleigh persuasion. I think the way they've set up in a compact defensive manner, there's a clear route to attack and there's a clear motive and directive from Kon Tangalakis and, of course, George Katsakis. As for John Anastasiadis, he's not been in these positions often, especially in this calendar year or last year in 2025. So, rare chance to go to the drawing board ahead of what promises to be, in my opinion, one of the most exciting second halves on display this season so far. Most intriguing is probably more of an apt description.
Well, Bentleigh have thrown the gauntlet down to the visitors. Can Heidelberg come up with a response at the break? We'll take a short one here on the NPL Victoria live stream. In Senol NPL Victoria, round 13. The halftime score at Kingston Heath is Bentleigh Greens 1, Heidelberg United 0. Welcome back to Kingston Heath Soccer Complex, where Bentleigh have a shock 1-0 lead at home at halftime against in-form reigning champions Heidelberg United. George Katsakis' side have been disciplined and clinical when it counted. And they hold on for a famous victory here to arrest their poor run of form and send them back into top 6 contention. Heidelberg kick us off from right to left in the yellow and black. Josh Parrish here alongside Neil Simons for this one. A solitary goal from Maki Petratos, brilliantly taken as it was, is the difference. Collins stabbing it wide to Bisetto, and an early free kick for Bentleigh. And it's not going to get any easier chasing the game for Heidelberg now, is it, Neil?
No, and I think Katsakis, yes, he might have been happy with the score at halftime, but the job is, for all intents and purposes, not remotely close to being finished. Their bench is, in layman's terms, quite weak with a plethora of injuries. They don't quite have the cattle compared to what Heidelberg have both in the starting 11 and off the bench. And you can bring on a guy like Cameron Brainwell. It certainly pales in comparison to many of the other number 9s in this competition. And I'm sure as if the approach, well, the Burgers will take a different formula as we see Bisetto down that left-hand flank. Approaching the byline, players in the mixer, and Marcus Humbert has sent that right into the car park. And the ball is bouncing all the way to Guzman y Gomez. That is an apoplectic miss from Marcus Humbert. And of all the players in the league you expect to score from that position, Marcus Humbert has made a meal of it.
What a chance. What a chance. He has to score that. Bentleigh won't give you too many of those. Not in the mood they're in tonight. Max Bisetto did tremendously well to outpace Kalalu Kamara. Not many players can beat him in a foot race. Even for a big central defender, he is lightning quick. Bisetto's touch was perfect to get around the outside of him. The cut back towards Humbert was on the money, and he's just leant back and blazed it over into the car park. An awful miss from Humbert. We're accustomed to seeing him strike the ball so sweetly, so purely in those sorts of situations. And really, Heidelberg should be level.
Yeah, that will certainly go down as one that won't feature on the Marcus Humbert highlight reel.
And he's got quite the highlight reel as well. But yes, I'd be studiously leaving that one on the cutting room floor. What a miss. And at least Heidelberg will know they can find a way through this Bentleigh backline. Early scare for the home side, just coming out of the break. Sullivan getting forwards. Shout for a Heidelberg penalty, which never looked tremendously likely.
Yeah, very faint shout there. I don't think there was anything in that.
And when the players are appealing more so, or the fans are appealing more so than the players, I should say, tends to be the case. The battle between the two number 7s on this flank has been the key one, Fulton and Petratos, and seeing how deep he has to drop back and defend. He's been the difference maker so far, Maki Petratos for Bentleigh. Yokokawa. The Bentleigh fans love that one. Maybe they're the Ismail Haji fans specifically. There's a few players in the comp who have their own personal fan club. We haven't seen much of the U crew this season due to injuries at Green Gully.
Oh, they love that as well. That ball without a play. They love that. Oh, what a fantastic sight.
Will have loved his role in the first goal as well. Superb win in midfield. Great ball forward for Maki Petrados, and the number 7 did the rest. Slaloming his way inside and slamming the ball into the bottom corner.
Oh, yeah. I think as if for Bentleigh, it's just getting that second to really put this game, I wouldn't say beyond reasonable doubt, but posit a very intriguing situation for Heidelberg. And they're going to take as much time as they can off the clock. And they were even doing that at the back end of that first half, prior to them even scoring the first goal. Just a constant mood is to continue to frustrate. And Sullivan's ball well dealt with by Michael Boffey. Now with Ben Collins. He looks towards Fletcher Fulton. Drifting slightly in field. Well weighted pass will be set up. And Lysiotis. It's a fantastic ball, although Lysiotis' touch wasn't quite directed towards where he would have liked. As Bentleigh continues to cycle possession. For the first time this evening, really beginning to utilise the width here at Kingston Heath. There's trademark triangles on display as Lysiotis leaves the task for Fulton. And how about that challenge from Cordeng? That will certainly fire up the Bentleigh defence.
Yeah, beautifully timed, wasn't it?
Heidelberg will look slightly long as it did find its way into the box, but Collins will retake as the line is forced deeper. As Souza plays it out wide. Rezai slightly overhits, and Yokokawa was there pressing. And Heidelberg do have the ball yet again, this time through left lane. Lysiotis. O'Sullivan. Out wide. Ismail Haji makes sure work of that.
Gets another cheer from the fan club as well. Neil, if anyone ever doubts the commitment and loyalty of NPL Victoria fans, I've just spotted a Collingwood Magpie spray jacket in the crowd. Scott Pendlebury's breaking the record tonight, but he's watching Heidelberg Bentleigh instead.
Ah, well.
Love to see it.
Well, there is a, one would say, inextricable link between the two clubs. Well, there was at one point as they win themselves the corner. Collingwood Warriors.
Very true.
Love knows no bounds for the Senol NPLM men's Victoria. Marcus Humbert with his left foot. High looping ball. Collins was there. Will it be scrambled over the line? It won't. Lysiotis on the half volley. And might there be a breakaway from Mario Boldea of all players as he whisks away past Fletcher Fulton. And the miscommunication with Cordeng, which is a cruel mishap for the Bentleigh Greens.
You can see the howls of frustration from the crowd. They know that opportunities to break forward have been few and far between in this game, and that was a botched attempt. RG. Shoulder to shoulder with Bissetto. And last touch off the Heidelberg man. Heidelberg with a quick restart. Basetto going at Core Deng, driving it in low, and Heidelberg are level in a flash. Jay McGowan made no mistake. Max Basetto puts it on a plate, and the Burgers are back to normality and back level in this contest. It has been coming in this second half.
They've set up really well in this second half, really piercing the gaps of the Bentleigh Greens defence as we see a really great pass from Max Basetto across the byline. It wasn't Humbert who finished it the first time, but Jay McGowan made sure work of it. Instead of going high, just go low. And he bypasses Brendan White's goal. And the task for Bentleigh gets all the more difficult as we head into the final 35 minutes of regulation time here at Kingston Heath. Kajiyama will kick off proceedings. How will the Bentleigh Greens respond as the Burgers find their groove? Now Humbert. Basetto is awaiting the inevitable on that left-hand side, and here he is now. Max Basetto has 1 assist tonight. And bypasses Core Deng, but I think he might have got a late touch. Petrados.
Yeah, Basetto's looking really sharp in this second half, isn't he? Back to the form that saw him score in a grand final. Proved to be the decisive goal.
Made really good use of his break in the off-season. Of course, suffered, I believe, an injury to his shoulder. Josh, was it by swimming?
Yeah, I believe so.
Yeah, so he's had time to recover and has had to bite his way back into the team for quite a long space of time as the cross is swung in towards O'Sullivan and eventually away by the Greens out for a Burger throw.
Bringing new meaning to the term freestyle football at Max Basetto. Collins back out to Sullivan. High cross. Basetto rises and then headed off the line by Deng, but it doesn't matter because it's lashed in by Marcus Humbert and Heidelberg have turned it around. What a response after half-time from John Anastasiadis' side. And Marcus Humbert makes amends for his earlier miss. A sweet connection, the net bulges, and the Burgers are back on top.
It's almost a metaphor for their campaign, the Bentleigh Greens. Started so well. They were top at one point in the early portions of the round, but they have collapsed tonight in a manner in which many might not have foreseen. It was pinball in that 6-yard box and just bounced out to Humbert, who made a really poor error upon the shot a few minutes ago, and that more than makes up for it. Marcus Humbert has delivered the goods, and Bentleigh's season might go from bad to worse and could, with pending results over this weekend, be forced into quite the predicament. But still 32 minutes to play in regulation, and that's the Burgers' second in just about 4 minutes, Josh.
I hate to say it, Neil, but I think Brendan White has to do better off the initial header. Can't be getting out-jumped by Max Basetto, who's a head shorter than you, plus you can use your hands. Wasn't an ideal position for him, Brendan White, but just didn't read the ball in the air well enough, and perhaps he was arguing there was a foul on him. Looked a fair leap on the replay from Basetto. That's a difficult moment for Brendan White.
Yeah, and I think many have questioned, is he still up to being a starting level keeper in this competition? Of course, Ahmad Taleb is essentially by and large the number 2, but against teams like Heidelberg, you have to have better spatial awareness. If you're a keeper, like the Bentleigh Greens apply down this right-hand side through Maki Petrados. Oh, that is smooth operator stuff from Ryan Lethlead.
What a difference a goal makes. Heidelberg suddenly playing with so much confidence.
Yeah, And now you notice Bentleigh press into centre-backs, which they didn't do once in that first half. And I think that reeks of desperation, if not at least a shift in approach. And I have to be honest, Heidelberg is one of the last teams you want to press in this league.
It requires a very disciplined approach, otherwise you're leaving gaps everywhere. But I guess they have to chase the game now, Bentleigh. They're trailing. You don't want to go too early, though, and leave yourself open at the back. These players will be so frustrated. They were so disciplined in that first half, but they let it slip.
Yeah. It was within grasp, really, Josh. They just had to make better of the errors, as the Burgers could be on again for a third. Here's Max Basetto cutting onto his right. Oh, he nearly evaded Kalalu Kamara, but Humbert will pick up the scraps. Left edge of the area for Basetto. That's a wonderful pass. And now Lesiotis has overhit that one into the feet of Jay McGowan. Another chance goes begging for the Burgers, who could just about lock up these 3 points with another goal, you'd suggest, Josh.
That's an important 3 points for them, because locally Cannons struggling against Andy City tonight. It's been a really tight one at Frank Holohan. They could close the gap to top spot with 3 points here. Came in second, trailing the Cannons by 3. With so many teams nipping at their heels. The top 5 are separated only by 5 points coming into round 13. Heidelberg can ill afford to slip up here. The longer the second half wore on without a goal for Heidelberg, the harder it was going to get. So they've come out with an instant response. You can see by the celebration just how much that goal meant to Marcus Humbert and his Heidelberg teammates. Deng. It was a valiant effort from Cordeng on the line after his goalkeeper had been out-jumped. It's a crunching tackle from Lesiotis. Hard but fair in the eyes of the referee. And there's a clear shirt pull. And, well, Nico Duarte risks earning the ire of the Ismail Haji fan club on the far side.
Yeah, it seems as if the Haji fan club wasn't too happy with that one, but definitely, I think, a booking in my eyes for Ismail Haji.
Might be a booking for the reaction as well. We'll wait and see what the punishment is.
Yeah, you see him just... See even Nico Duarte, I think, might have tried to charge at Ismail Haji. Albeit, I don't think it was in an eerily similar manner. I think he tried to nearly tackle into ground, and I think the 2 yellows is probably a justified decision. My yarn is. It
Almost looked like a spear tackle attempt from Nico Duarte. Don't think he went in with quite that much force.
Yeah, not quite your WWE spear tackle, Josh.
Yeah, that's, I think, well refereed.
Yeah, he took control there.
Yellow for the cynical foul, yellow for the reaction. And we continue with 11 men on the park for either side.
Now will be the Burgers, who have exerted control. Can they retain the composure? Yaron Souza into left lead. Two number 7s in tandem, but that was a really nice ball from Sadi Yokokawa. And Kalalu Kamara with the shoulder tackle of all shoulder tackles is a bit of argy-bargy now between a few Bentleigh players and Max Basetto.
Kamara's trying to walk away. Basetto wants to force the issue, but I think he's taken a deep breath now and decided it's not worth it. I'd decide the same if Kalu Kamara was in my sights. I'd be quickly rethinking things.
Yeah, I think that goes without saying.
That's late from Basetto on Boffy, though.
Oh!
And Boffy shoves him to the ground. Yellow card flashed immediately by the referee for both players.
Yeah, Max Basetto was very much veering on the edge of danger there.
Well, at least he chose to pick on someone at least vaguely his own size.
Yeah, I don't think Boffy was having any of that. You've been annoying for the last sort of 5 minutes. It's time you got a bit of a lesson. Although that's not quite the way I would express my frustrations when I've got someone nipping at my heels. But yeah, each to their own, Josh.
I think Max Basetto was on his way into the book one way or another, but John Anastasiadis won't be happy with the ill discipline, especially after he's had such a good second half. Should have 2 assists. It's a low ball from Boffy. Looked a risky one, but it finds its mark. Dang for Petrados. Petrados chips it in beyond. Haji can't get there. Kagiyama. Boldea. Dang. Kagiyama steps on the ball and turns it over. Humbert for Duarte. Humbert wants the return ball. Duarte drags back and takes momentum out of the move. Ismail Haji leading a one-man press. Heidelberg play their way around it without much trouble. And now Scott Hillier will be next into the book.
You just get the feeling that Bentleigh are beginning to well and truly chase this game. Not just by way of the current scoreline, but I think figuratively as well.
And it's, for all his endeavour and quality in this match, Ismail Haji trying to force the issue. He might be under instruction there, but trying to force the issue by pressing the centre-backs, as you mentioned earlier, just tends to open up the midfield shape and allows Heidelberg to side their way through them. Guess you've got to take risks, but there's still 23 minutes to play. And if the third Heidelberg goal goes in, that's all over Red Rover.
Yeah, absolutely so. Of course, the scores around the grounds. Melbourne City with a 3-1 win against the Bentleigh Greens. The Bentleigh Greens are on 3 points after 13 rounds of NPL football. I think they are more or less a surety of going down this year. A wonder goal for Medin Mehmeti as well tonight as City make themselves back in the top 6. Josh.
Well, the other green club in Victoria was on the wrong end of Medin Mehmeti last week. It's a good ball in from the set piece. Fulton with an assured touch over the night sky in Cheltenham. Hillier rising well. Rezai. Good communication at the back from Yaron Souza. We heard him from here.
Collins for Boffy. And Sullivan, the Irish import, manages to keep it in. Again, Scott Hillier involved in a tussle there. The Greens cheaply look to bring it forward. They do win the throw. And sore need of a goal.
It's gone full time at Frank Holohan, a late equaliser for Dandy City. So if Heidelberg hold on to this victory, they will close the gap to Oakley Cannons at the top of the league to 1 point.
Opportunistic, I think. They will most definitely be looking to at least hold this 2-1 lead. Goes without saying, really, but they need a third, Josh, to really put this game to bed, as Fletcher Fulton exerted too much pressure on Cordeng. The Greens keen to take this quickly. But I think that the directive from Kalalu Kamara is, I'll go long here.
Can strike a ball cleanly as well. 2 weeks ago against St Albans Cinema, he put in one of the best crosses of the season, but his teammate couldn't finish. Just from a little bit closer to goal than this. An unlikely set-piece specialist over this one.
Kamara.
Drops short, doesn't it? Not what he was aiming for.
Kajiyama just unable to find those combinations that they were really finding in that first half, especially in crucial attacking channels. Scott Hillier with the nutmeg bypass. Marcus Humbert giving him a taste of his own medicine. As the Greens fire the ball in low, it was a dangerous one. Didn't find the target yet again, and Hillier misdirects his header. Posits a chance for the Burgers as Jay McGowan goes to ground, but the throw-in will be the option intended. A double change for the Burgers. Max Bisetto making way for Kieran Bramwell. Sahi Yokokawa making way for Chok Dao. It's an embarrassment of riches. I don't think there's anything else to say. Two players that can definitely kill a game.
I think Bisetto is very silly to have got himself a second, a yellow card in this game in the second half, because he's been absolutely dominant on that left flank. Maybe, given his injury history of late, he's on a minutes restriction and he knew he was coming off anyway, but it's disappointing that he's got himself an unnecessary yellow card, because we were loving watching him tonight. He's, for the last 25 minutes, absolutely dominated this game.
Yeah, and I think John Anastasiadis he speaks about character a lot. The players that he wants to bring in to Heidelberg, it's a character-first judgment. Bisetto has definitely fit that criteria, but I don't think that was the greatest of exercises from him in the last 10 minutes or so, Josh.
Yeah, I think it's good leadership from Johnny A to say that even if you are playing well, no players are above the team, and I'm not going to risk a red card just because you're having a good night. Sets the culture. We haven't seen much of Marky Petrados in the forward half since half-time. In fact, I'm not sure if he's had the ball in the final third once. After that beautifully taken goal, give Bentleigh the half-time lead. Duarte. Double deflection. Corner.
Tall timber will arrive, and Humbert's had some good deliveries tonight. Just get the feeling as if this might be the opportunistic moment for the Burgers. It's a roller short, actually. Goes towards the back post. McGowan was there, but he was offside.
Oh, he did well from that angle, offside or not.
Bit confused. Heidelberg, should I say Bentleigh, have not made a single change so far. But as I say that, they're about to bring on Dennis Menelau, I believe.
As you said, they're a little thin on the bench with all their injuries. But Menelau certainly a player who can get you goals. He's, at least at VPL 1 level, he's been a goal machine.
Speak about footballing families, decent one as well. Dennis Menelau, of course, formerly of Northcote and Bulleen, who actually are playing right now. His brother, of course, Alexander Menelau, ex-Melbourne Victory youth player, currently with South Melbourne.
Well, this is George Katsakis rolling the dice. 4-4-2, two strikers up top. Send it long to the big men. See if Bentleigh can feed off the scraps. One for Kagiyama, the defensive midfielder. That's a statement of intent. Bentleigh going to chase this game for the last 15 minutes. Throw everything they've got at Heidelberg. No matter what it costs them on the other end in terms of the goal difference, which has taken a battering in recent weeks anyway. Just can't get over that stat, Neil, that now in the last, 6 games, they've conceded more goals than they did the entirety of last season in VPL1.
Which is unbelievable. They were unbeaten at home last year in VPL1, and it just shows against, I guess, the attacking output in the top flight is of such a level whereby their defence has been completely torn apart. Granted, no Dion Nicolaitis, who's out with injury still.
And no Aidara, who gives you so much protection back there.
Yeah, it's a lot to lose, and it definitely shakes up your defensive shape as well. Humbert absolutely launched one into the feet of Scott Hillier. Now Boffey. His second stint at the Greens, actually. That's a delightful touch from Dow. Couldn't quite bring it down, though, in completeness. Petrados misdirects his pass. Humbert.
I just think no one gave Petrados an angle there for the pass, really.
Ramwell isolated with Kamara. And Kaolu Kamara's had a pretty good night tonight. He's won that really well. He's played a delightful pass into the feet of Menelau, who looks wide, and I don't know why he didn't look elsewhere. As Rezai goes to ground, Yanni Zizis has pointed to the spot. Goodness me! Well, the question is, was Gerard Rezai brought down to the box or not?
A speculative ball from Menelau at best. Rezai nips in. Yanni Zizis had a long look at that one before calling the penalty. The obvious pass was onto Maki Petrados. He was digging at his teammate for not giving him the ball. I think it was O'Sullivan who just reacts a bit late. Doesn't see Rezai running on his blind side. And it looks to have been just inside the box. A matter of opinion whether that clip was enough for a spot kick, but the referee saw it much more clearly than we did.
Oh, wow.
Oh, it's a huge decision.
It's a huge decision to make if you're Yanni Zizis. And the only thing to match that decision is the task ahead of Maki Petrados against Yaron Souza to secure his double and set the tone for a grandstand last 13 minutes. It's Maki Petrados from the spot. An absolute peach! Top right corner from Maki Petrados. And goal-scoring delight for the Greens as number 7 continues. And we talked about having a very exciting game before kickoff, Josh. It has befit that description. Game on.
Incredible. It looked like Heidelberg had it sewn up. They were cantering to the finish line. They looked set to add a third, if anything. But again, Bentleigh clinical in the moments that have mattered this evening. They've seized their opportunities on the counter-attack. It's only taken 2 lapses of concentration from the Burgers to cop 2 goals. Have you ever seen a better penalty than that? Stewards just sorting out an issue behind the Bentleigh bench. They'll play a pause temporarily here. But an unsavable spot kick from Maki Petrados. He's in the form of his life right now. 9 goals in 13 games.
And he's not even an out-and-out number 9, Josh. He just gets in those positions, and even from set pieces, has delivered masterfully.
Got to credit Rezai and Menelau. Menelau for spotting the pass. Rezai for not giving up on what looked like a lost cause. few projectiles on the pitch, it looked like. We'll wait for this to be sorted out. A shame that this is halting the momentum of an absolutely thrilling Friday night contest in Senol NPL Victoria. The emotion of the night, perhaps too much for some.
Respect is paramount, Josh, and that behaviour is unacceptable.
Just glad we can get the football back underway. Two sides going hell for leather for 3 points now, with 9 minutes to play. Plus a healthy chunk of stoppage time now. Bentleigh goal kick, much to the disgust of the Heidelberg players. They will make a change. The man who gave away the spot kick, Carl O'Sullivan, he's replaced by Anthony Theo.
Well, it's really been that question of who plays down that right-hand flank. Anthony Theo or Carl O'Sullivan. I guess we'll find as to how the one that's made the bench tonight will fare. Sort of been converted into a right back this season. Number Johnny 8, ever so reliable player for Heidelberg United. Thrown into this left-hand side as Duarte looks to pop one. I think that took a deflection and has. And it will be a Berger corner. Alexander's Army making much noise on that far side. And it'll be Chock down to swing this in, the ex-Preston man. Had a rich career, NPL WA as well. And has reached tip-top form with the Burgers this season. Bit of argy-bargy in the box between Van Collins and Scott Hillier. As Yanni Zizes waits for things to cool down. Down. Oh, White has miscued that, and there's calls for a hand, but it will be a goal kick.
He's had some shaky moments under the high ball tonight, Brendan White. Gets lucky on that occasion. Chocked out, thundering in to contest the loose ball, but they are the same. Haji was caught late, he thought. No whistle. Humbert got enough of the ball. Appeals for a handball from the fans in the stands and on the hill. They'll get a free kick though, Heidelberg, right on the edge of the area.
Oh, it's just you get the feeling that this could turn into a Kingston Heath classic. You haven't had too many of them across the last few seasons in, of course, Senol NPL Men's Victoria. But tensions are certainly most high amongst players. And it will be Anthony Lesiotis or Marcus Humbert to stand over this one, Josh.
Well, chance to write your name in Heidelberg folklore against a rival. It's had a bit of a derby atmosphere tonight, which maybe we didn't expect. Certainly a lot of feeling between these two sides and a lot of history as well. Heidelberg chasing a precious 3 points. Maybe Ben Collins fancies it. No, it's going to be Lesiotis. Anthony Lesiotis just beats the crossbar. He struck it well. Thought the captain was about to pull rank there for a moment. The big centre half, and instead it was Lesiotis. He got the curl and shape, but not the dip he was looking for in time. And he can't trouble Brendan White.
Well, these last 10 minutes have gone by so quickly, Josh, as we're set for a grandstand finish.
It is anyone's game at the moment. Bentleigh have taken the shackles off. Heidelberg playing the attacking football we're accustomed to seeing. Hillier must clear and does. They're going direct to the two big strikers now. Menelau couldn't keep it. Left lean. Theo takes it out of the sky. Left lean sends the long diagonal. Hillier getting up well. Rezai hits the deck. Bentleigh free kick.
He's been immaculate tonight, Jawad Rezai. Really continuing his solid form. He's not had the most consistent football in the last few seasons across a few stints in NPL Men's Victoria. Likes of New City, Toronto Magic. But may have found a distinct home here at Kingston Heath. As Bentleigh had the set piece, went beyond halfway through Scott Hillier. Bombing ball, and Souza will claim.
Yeah, good call keeping from Yaron Souza. Came off his line nice and quickly. The ball had too much hang time, and that's why it's so difficult to score from that far out from a set piece. Especially if you've got a goalkeeper with Yaron Souza's experience and composure. Reigning NPL Victoria Goalkeeper of the Year, of course. Heidelberg currently have a line of 7 players in attack and 3 in defence. Only one place this is going, and that's forward and long, and it's flicked by Duarte. Picked off by Boffey. Haji holds off Theodoropoulos. Involving Rezai now. Quick feet from Rezai. Beats one, can't beat two. Bramwell back the other way. McGowan. Back to Bramwell. And Boffey at full stretch to deny Heidelberg. Kamara with an emphatic clearance. And he'll continue his run. Heidelberg composed at the back again. Bring it back under control. This one is on a knife edge with 2 minutes plus stoppages to play. Do not take your eyes off this Friday night feast at Kingston Heath. Lesiotis. Left lean for Dow. Chinks his way past Petrados. Maki Petrados recovers well. So did Lesiotis. Important interception. Fulton, Humbert. And it was Bramwell at the near post. But well defended by Michael Boffey again. Heidelberg tightening the squeeze here.
Well, it seems as if, I think, there's a Bentleigh player down, I think.
It might well be Michael Boffey just in the process of clearing that one. Maybe Kieran Bramwell got a piece of him. He'll soldier on. He doesn't want to send his team down to 10 men for even a couple of minutes. That could be costly. Heidelberg crowding this 6-yard box. And the ball is pinballing around in the 6-yard area. Bentleigh clearing their lines. It was an absolute morass of players. Even if Heidelberg had got a connection on that, I think it would have been very tough to get through the scrum of bodies around Brendan White. Fourth officials board about to go up. The assistant referee's flag is up for a Heidelberg free kick. 5 minutes, or 6 minutes in fact.
I think it's 5, Josh, is it?
Testing my eyesight late on a Friday night, Neil.
I don't mean to correct you, Josh. I feel bad.
I was right the first time. 5 minutes for Heidelberg to find a goal, for Bentleigh to find an unlikely late winner. We'll cling on for a precious point.
They've battled Bentleigh, haven't they, tonight? Tooth and nail to at least get 1 point would do wonders for their campaign. It would be quite the response following last week's 7-0 drubbing.
Choctow's ball in. Met firmly at the near stick by Duarte, and he misses the target. Doesn't get the corner he was looking for. It was a good ball in by Choctaw.
Well, priceless opportunity in the offing for the Bentleigh Greens, as they are going to send all their cavalry into the attacking half, just about, you would expect. Still Bentleigh ball. I think they're very, very happy with a point, judging by the body language of Scott Hillier. No particular rush to bring it forward. Now with Collins, it's Souza. Fulton. Oh, that's going to be right into the feet of Mario Baldea. Petrados. Fulton's done well there. Duarte. Forced very, very much deep. Theo. Incisive from McGowan. Not enough for a free kick, though. It will be a Burger throw. Theo throws. A bouncing ball. Eventually cleared away. Now again, Lethlean. Infield is Humbert. He's tantalising in these positions. Now Choctaw on the wide angle. Fashions one in. The header en route. And so too Kamara getting there in space. And now the Greens with space to attack down that left-hand flank through Gerard Rezai. He's done well there and has won himself the foul for the Bentleigh Greens. Only just about 2 minutes to play in stoppage time.
Well, make no mistake, a point would be a fantastic result for Bentleigh. They won all three, but given the expectations coming into tonight, I think George Katsakis would have bitten your hand off for a draw. Scott Healy is going to send this one long. 2 minutes to play at Kingston Heath. Everything on the line for both these clubs. Bentley's season on a knife edge at the moment between a relegation battle and a top six chase. Brilliantly done from Kamara. Still going. Kalalu Kamara needs to find a teammate. Can't do so. The ball springs free, but only as far as Ismail Haji. Dang. Petrados stuck on the byline. Will settle for a throw. It's hard to know what to do if you're Bentleigh. How quickly you go about things. How desperately you chase that winning goal. Against a side that could close the gap to the top to 1 point if they find a late winner here, Heidelberg. All their good work early in the second half undone by that lucky Petrados penalty. Bentley's main man with the double, and their tricky man on the left side. He's giving them all sorts of headaches at the moment. Yet another free kick. Won by the techie Jawad Rezai. Fantastic footwork. Sets the stage for another long bomb into the box from Hillier. Anthony Lynn and Dennis Menelau wait for it. It's going to go straight to Yaron Souza. And that's all the time we have tonight. And the Bentleigh Greens have denied Heidelberg their comeback win. Marky Petratos at the double, the second from the penalty spot. After Heidelberg had trailed at the break and then flipped the script. A Max Pacetto masterclass for 25 minutes. Goals from Jay McGowan and Marcus Humbert look to have Heidelberg on their way. Marky Petratos, ice in his veins from the spot, picked out the top corner after Joad Rezai won that controversial spot kick. And Bentleigh Greens with a well-earned point against the reigning champions, Neil. What a result for Bentleigh after the week they've had.
Oh, a fantastic point at home, and one on the balance that you'd say they probably deserve. I think their first half performance was more than deserving of at least something from this contest. I expected after they went down 2-1, they would really sit off and the pressure would really be overwhelming for them. But I have to give credit where credit is due. Jawad Rezai has been a standout for them, and for all intents and purposes, I think the 2-2 scoreline is very much reflective of how proceedings played out tonight. For Heidelberg, it's a long road. There's going to be bumps in the road, and if this week was very much telling of the monster season they have ahead, potentially, it certainly will provide an intriguing team talk from John Panasasiadis.
Plenty of food for thought for Johnny A on his first league return to his former stomping ground here at Kingston Heath Soccer Complex. We'll sign off here on the Senol NPL Victoria live stream. It's been an entertaining Friday night bout. At it ends, Bentleigh Greens 2, Heidelberg United 2.